Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Manoj Singh Rana with the Midday News. The headlines. First National Conference of Chief Secretaries begins in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh this evening. Prime Minister to preside over the three-day conference from tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind lays the foundation stone of the new Raj Bhavan building at Donapaula in Goa. Election Commission issues notification for the election of 16th President of India. Union Cabinet approves to conduct 5G spectrum auction to commence on 26th of next month. Asean Foreign Ministers meeting to be held in New Delhi tomorrow. Jal Shakti Ministry to organize National Workshop on Dam Safety Act 2021 in New Delhi tomorrow. Indian shuttlers Kidambi Srikanth, Lakshya Sen and HS Pranoy to start their campaign today at Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament in Jakarta. And Olympics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra sets new javelin record at Paavo Nurmi Games in Finland. The first National Conference of Chief Secretaries of all the states begins in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh this evening. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba will inaugurate the three-day conference at 5 p.m. in the evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will preside over the conference tomorrow, which will continue till Friday. More from our correspondent.
More than 200 participants representing the central government, all states, union territories and domain experts will take part in the conference. The concept and agenda of this conference has been prepared after more than 100 rounds of deliberation over a period of 6 months. Three themes that have been identified for detailed deliberation in conference are implementation of national education policy, urban governance and crop diversification and achieving self-sufficiency in oilseeds, pulses and other agri-commodities. The three-day conference will lay emphasis on the development and implementation of a common development agenda and a roadmap for united action to achieve the aspiration of the people. The outcome of the conference will be discussed later in the meeting of the Governing Council of Niti Aayog, in which chief ministers and administrations of all states and union territories will be present to finalize an action plan with broad consensus at the highest level. Sanjeev Sundrial, AIR News, Shimla.
President Ramnath Kovind today laid the foundation stone of the new Raj Bhavan building in Donapaula, Goa, near the state capital, Panaji. Officials said that care will be taken to mitigate the impact of climate change while constructing the new building by taking steps like rainwater harvesting. The concept of the new building is inspired by Rashtrapati Bhavan, other Raj Bhavans, and vivid Goan architecture. Governor P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant, Union Minister of State for Tourism Shripad Nayak, Protocol Minister Movin Godinho and other leaders were present on the occasion. The Governor and the Chief Minister expressed gratitude to the President for the initiative taken by him for the construction of the new building.
The Election Commission has issued notification for the election of the 16th President of India. Nomination can be filed by the candidates till the 29th of this month. The poll for the presidential election will be held on the 18th of next month and the counting will take place on the 21st of July. The term of office of President Ramnath Kovind is ending on the 24th of July. The presidential election will be held by secret ballot in accordance with system of proportional representation as per the Constitution. The President is elected by an electoral college comprising elected members of the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha and state legislative assemblies. It also includes legislative assemblies of Delhi and Puducherry. Polling will be held in the Parliament House and the premises of the state legislative assemblies. The total number of electors will be 4,809, including 776 members of Parliament and 4,033 members of legislative assemblies. The Union Government has said that the 5G spectrum auction will commence on the 26th of next month. The Communications Ministry has said that the Department of Telecom has issued notice inviting applications to facilitate the rollout of 5G. The ministry said under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the government is committed to providing affordable, state-of-the-art, high-quality telecom services to all the citizens. It said with considerable success in rolling out widespread 4G services, India is now ready to introduce 5G telecom services in the country. The successful bidders will be allowed to make payment in 20 equal annual installments at an interest rate of 7.2%. The ministry said spectrum acquired through this auction can be surrendered after a minimum period of 10 years. There will be no spectrum usage charges for spectrum acquired in this auction.
The Home Ministry has decided to give priority in the recruitment of Central Armed Police Forces and Assam Rifles to Agniveers who successfully complete their 4 years of service. In a tweet today, Home Minister Amit Shah termed the Agnipad Scheme as a visionary decision by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said the youth trained under the Agnipad Scheme will be able to contribute to the service and security of the nation. He said detailed planning has started on this decision. The Jal Shakti Ministry will organize a national workshop on Dam Safety Act 2021 in New Delhi tomorrow. The workshop is aimed at sensitizing all stakeholders about the provisions of the Act and to brainstorm on dam safety governance. There are around 5,334 large dams in the country and 411 large ones are under various stages of construction. Maharashtra leads with 2,394 while Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat are at the second and third spots in terms of the number of dams. India's dams annually store about 300 billion cubic meters of water. These dams are aging over the years, with about 80% exceeding 25 years of age and over 227 exceeding 100 years. Aging and deferred maintenance have made dam safety a matter of concern. The Dam Safety Act 2021 was enacted by Parliament and came into force from the 30th of December last year. The Act is aimed at ensuring surveillance, inspection, operation and maintenance of the specified dam for prevention of dam failure-related disasters. It is also aimed at providing an institutional mechanism to ensure their safe functioning.
In Karnataka, Justice Bhimna Gowda Sangana Gowda Patil was sworn in today as the Lokayukt, or an anti-corruption ombudsman in Bengaluru. Governor Thawarchand Gehlot administered the oath of office in a simple ceremony at the Raj Bhavan today. The newly sworn-in Lokayukta was greeted by Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai with a bouquet. Justice B.S. Patil was earlier a judge in the Karnataka High Court and had served as Up Lokayukta before being appointed as the Lokayukta. The post of Lokayukta was vacant since January this year when the incumbent Justice P. Vishwanath Shetty retired after completing a 5-year term. The Enforcement Directorate, ED, is questioning Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on the third consecutive day today in connection with the money laundering probe into the National Herald case. The agency had questioned Mr. Gandhi for about 10 hours yesterday. Mr. Gandhi's statement was recorded in multiple sessions under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Top party leaders and workers have been demonstrating in the national capital since Monday. Hundreds of Congress leaders and supporters were detained outside the party headquarters and around central Delhi as they tried to hold a protest against the ED action. Maharashtra Transport Minister Anil Parab has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate today in connection with an alleged money laundering case linked to his resort at Dapoli in Ratnagiri district. The ED recently registered a money laundering case against Parab and conducted searches at various locations linked with Parab, including his 2 residences. The action was taken as part of its probe into the alleged money laundering and possible coastal regulation zone violations linked to a piece of land at Dapoli on which the resort was built.
Over 195 crore 50 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said over 13,58,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. A total of 8,822 new COVID cases were recorded in the last 24 hours as several states and UTs are witnessing a surge in the cases. With increase in the number of cases, India's active caseload increased to 53,637. The recovery rate declined to 98.66% and a total of 5,718 COVID patients recovered in the last 24 hours. According to the Health Ministry, 15 deaths were reported during the same period. India will host the 2-day special ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting starting tomorrow. This will be the first meeting hosted by India in New Delhi. It will be accompanied by the 12th edition of Delhi Dialogue. The theme of Delhi Dialogue is Building Bridges in the Indo-Pacific. The ministerial session will be attended by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and ASEAN's foreign ministers. External Affairs spokesman Arindam Bagchi termed the ASEAN central to India's Act East policy. Mr. Bagchi said ASEAN-India foreign ministers meeting will mark the 30th anniversary of dialogue relations and the 10th anniversary of strategic partnership with ASEAN. Mr. Bagchi said 2022 has been designated as the ASEAN-India Friendship Year.
The Indian Army today said 90 days from now, first of the recruitment rally will take place for Agniveers. Speaking to the media, Vice Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General B.S. Raju said approximately 180 days from now, first of the recruits will be in Army training centres. He said approximately a year from now, the Army will have first of the Agniveers coming into battalions. He said the average age of an Army soldier is around 32 to 33 years, and with Agnipad in around 8 to 10 years, the Army will be able to lower profile of soldier to approximately 26 years. He said it will make Army fitter. Lieutenant General Raju said these recruits will be selected pan-India and will go through 6 months of training. He said thereafter they will serve for 3.5 years. The Army Vice Chief said at the end of 4 years, the Army is looking at retaining 25% of the people who have the attitude and aptitude to stay in the Army. The Army Vice Chief said for technical arms, the Army will look forward to recruiting people already qualified in skill sets required for the Indian Army, and it will tap resources of ITI, polytechnics, so that when they are inducted into the Army, requirement for subsequent training is reduced. He said the impact of Agnipad would be in terms of giving opportunity for Indian Army to get younger, fitter and probably more tech-savvy. Lieutenant General Raju highlighted beauty of this scheme, that it is going to be introduced in a very slow manner. He informed in first year the Army is getting around 40,000 recruits. Industry body Asean has said that the government decision regarding recruitment of 10 lakh people over the next 1.5 years in the central government is far-sighted and inspiring. The president of Asean, Sumant Sinha, said it is heartening to see the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi putting a laser focus on the critical issue of employment. He said the government move will not only help ease the backlog of vacant government jobs, but also provide hope to many millions of India's youth who are keenly looking to contribute to national development. Vihan from Jhansi shared his reactions with All India Radio.
मेरा नाम विहान है, I'm from झांसी। रिसेंटली जो गवर्नमेंट ने लोगों को बताया कि भाई अगले 1.5 साल के अंदर वो 10 लाख भर्तियां करने वाले हैं, इससे मुझे लगता है कि काफी सारे यूथ को फायदा होने वाला है। जिस तरीके के अभी करंट मार्केट सिनेरियोस चल रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि सरकार के इस फैसले से आने वाले 1-1.5 साल के अंदर काफी सारे लोगों को रोजगार प्रोवाइड होगा। जिन चीजों की वजह से सरकारी प्रोसेस स्लो हो रहे थे, अगर उन सभी जगहों पर रिक्रूटमेंट हो जाते हैं तो काफी सारा प्रोसेस ऐसा है जो देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए काम करेगा।
The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an exclusive interview with Sarbanand Sonowal, Union Cabinet Minister of Ayush, in the Spotlight program tonight. Talking to AIR News, Ayush Minister said yoga should be developed as a way of life and appealed to everyone to participate in the upcoming International Day of Yoga.
On the International Day of Yoga, which is going to be held on 21st of June, please do participate. Yoga should be developed as a way of life. And I think everyone should integrate yoga as a part of their lifestyle, because this yoga can make you always strong and healthy. And through yoga, I believe everyone can develop the power of knowledge, wisdom, intelligence, which can help a person to attain the peace of mind and peace of life.
The interview can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. It will also be available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. The Bharatiya Janata Party has raised questions on violence by Congress party workers over the Rahul Gandhi probe by the Enforcement Directorate into the National Herald case. Briefing media in New Delhi today, party's national spokesperson Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi said that the Congress party is making efforts to hide corruption under the guise of violence.
You're listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. First National Conference of Chief Secretaries begins in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh this evening. Prime Minister to preside over the three-day conference from tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind lays the foundation stone of the new Raj Bhavan building at Dona Paula in Goa. Election Commission issues notification for the election of 16th President of India. Union Cabinet approves to conduct 5G spectrum auction to commence on the 26th of next month. ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting to be held in New Delhi tomorrow. Jal Shakti Ministry to organize a national workshop on Dam Safety Act 2021 in New Delhi tomorrow. Indian shuttlers Kidambi Srikanth, Lakshya Sen and HS Pranoy to start their campaign today at Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament in Jakarta. And Olympics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra sets new javelin record at Paavo Nurmi Games in Finland. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? आपके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो लाया है प्रोग्राम अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जहां आप सवाल भेजते हैं व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289909444 पर या फिर ईमेल करते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। आपके सवालों के जवाब हमारे एक्सपर्ट देते हैं हर शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे। इस बार का विषय है इंडियन सोसाइटी, भारतीय समाज, और सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 15 जून। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
सर आपका पार्सल।
जी धन्यवाद।
सर ये आपके घर के बाहर मोदी जी की फोटो।
परिवार है हमारे।
क्या बात कर रहे हैं सर?
अरे अब भाई जिन्होंने हमें पैसे दिए ताकि हम ये घर खरीद सकें, अब देखो ये पूरा का पूरा घर तुम्हारी भाभी के नाम पर है। अब हमारे बच्चे पढ़ेंगे लिखेंगे तो उनका भविष्य हमसे तो बेहतर ही होगा ना।
हाँ सर बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, बेहतर तो हुआ है। अब देखिए ना, हमारी अम्मा की दवाइयों का खर्चा 1000 रुपए आता था, अब 300 में ही निपट जाता है।
लो मोदी जी हो गए ना तुम्हारे भी परिवार।
हाँ सर।
Welcome back to the Midday News. In Jammu and Kashmir, Union Minister of State for Home Affairs and Youth Affairs and Sports, Nishit Pramanik, paid a visit to Mir Gund in Patan of North Kashmir's Baramulla district yesterday as part of the Union Government's special outreach program. He inaugurated an indoor sports stadium constructed at an estimated cost of 3.83 crore rupees. He also participated in various activities meant for the overall welfare and socio-economic development of the district. After the inauguration of the stadium, various sports activities were held, wherein the young and enthusiastic players showed their talent. The minister termed sports as a viable platform for channelizing the potential of dynamic youth, besides keeping them away from wrong pursuits like drug addiction and antisocial activities. The Pratham Puja, first prayer, marking the beginning of rituals of the annual Sri Yamanathi Yatra, which is commencing on the 30th of this month, was held yesterday on the occasion of Jyeshta Purnima at the holy cave shrine of Sri Amarnath Ji in South Kashmir, Himalayas. More than 6 lakh pilgrims are expected to pay their obeisance at the 3,880-meter high cave shrine this year.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Shopian District Administration is building more than 100 ponds under the mission Amrit Sarovar. The mission is aimed at developing and rejuvenating 75 water bodies in each district of the country as part of celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Talking to AIR News, Assistant Commissioner Rural Development Hilal Ahmed Jerry said the administration is focused on increasing the level of groundwater to address water scarcity as well as ensure availability of water for irrigation in the district.
हमारा फोकस है लगभग 8 कनाल पे या उसके आसपास जो लैंड है उस पे हम बनाएंगे कच्चे पॉन्ड्स। उनमें पानी जो है रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग होगा, जो पानी है वो उनमें जमा होगा, नदी नालों से बहता हुआ पानी उनमें जमा हो जाएगा। कच्चे पॉन्ड है, उससे क्या होगा ऑटोमेटिकली एक जो ग्राउंड वाटर है उसका जो टेबल है लेवल है वो अप हो जाएगा। दूसरा ये पानी जो आसपास के लोग हैं उनके इरिगेशन पर्पस के लिए भी काम आएगा और कहीं कहीं पे जो साफ पानी है ड्रिंकिंग पर्पस के लिए भी काम आएगा। बट जो मेन उसका है कच्चे पॉन्ड बना के ऑल ओवर द डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो भी हमारा ग्राउंड वाटर लेवल है उसको रेज करें और जो पानी की स्कैर्सिटी है इसको खत्म करें। हमारा जो टारगेट है इसमें तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने ही रखा है लगभग 75 पॉन्ड्स पर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, बट हमने उससे ज्यादा ही आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं। हम मोर देन 100 जो है पॉन्ड्स बना रहे हैं।
And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
We remember freedom fighter Sirbandhan. He was in the service of the English East India Company Army, but left it during the First War of Independence in 1857 and also motivated his fellow sepoys to leave their service and take part in the struggle for freedom from the oppressive foreign rule.
He fought the company on several occasions and was finally caught in an encounter, charged with desertion and mutiny against the British authorities. Sirbandhan was sentenced to transportation for life with hard labour and irons on the 15th of August 1857. He died there in detention on the 15th of June 1858. AIR News salutes the great nationalist.
15th of June is also the death anniversary of Harilal Shah. He participated in the Dharasana Salt Satyagraha in May 1930. When Gandhiji decided to go for the Dharasana Salt Satyagraha, he wrote to Viceroy Irwin and told him about his plan. To prevent Gandhiji from acting, he was arrested on the 4th of May 1930 and detained near Pune. The Dharasana Satyagraha went ahead as planned by Gandhiji, with Abbas Tayyabji leading the march with Kasturba Gandhi at his side.
Both were arrested before reaching Dharasana and sentenced to 3 months of imprisonment. After their arrests, the Satyagrahis, including Harilal Shah, continued the march under the leadership of Sarojini Naidu, who warned them,
"You must not use any violence under any circumstance. You will be beaten, but you must not resist. You must not even raise a hand to ward off blows."
As apprehended, the armed forces began clubbing the Satyagrahis with steel-tipped lathis in an incident on the 22nd of May 1930, and many Satyagrahis, of whom one was a badly injured Harilal Shah. Later, Harilal Shah succumbed to his injuries on the 15th of June 1930. AIR News salutes the great nationalist.
We also remember Gandhian freedom fighter Kushal Kanwar. On the 10th of October 1942, hidden in the thick fog of early morning, some people removed a few sleepers from the railway line near Sarupathar in Golaghat district. A military train passing by derailed and many British and American soldiers lost their lives.
Accusing Kushal Kanwar of being the chief conspirator of the train sabotage, the British police arrested him. At dawn on the 15th of June 1943, at 4:30 a.m., Kushal Kanwar was hanged at Jorhat jail. AIR News salutes the great nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow. India's overall exports in May this year are estimated to be over $62 billion, exhibiting a positive growth of over 24% over the same period last year. Commerce and Industry Ministry said the merchandise exports have grown by 20% and services exports by over 30% in May 2022. It said petroleum products, electronic goods, leather products, coffee, cereal preparations and oil meals lead the way in the growth of exports. Egypt is hosting the 8th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians in Sharm el-Sheikh today. The two-day conference is jointly organized by the House of Representatives and the Inter-Parliamentary Union. Nagaland's first woman elected as Member of Parliament to Rajya Sabha, S. Phangon Konyak, is representing India at the conference. She, along with two other young Lok Sabha MPs from India, will be sharing her thoughts on the Young MPs for Climate Actions.
Today is Global Wind Day. The day is observed annually on the 15th of June for discovering wind energy, its power and the possibilities it holds to reshape our energy systems, decarbonize our economies and boost jobs and growth. More in this report.
With the problem of global warming, it has become more important to make optimal use of energy sources like wind. It is an age-old energy source that is still used widely in this modern era. It is the most efficient and established renewable source of energy. According to the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, India's wind energy sector is led by indigenous wind power industry and has shown consistent progress. The expansion of the wind industry has resulted in a strong ecosystem, project operation capabilities and manufacturing base of about 10,000 megawatt per annum. The country currently has the fourth highest wind installed capacity in the world with a total installed capacity of 39.25 gigawatts as on 31st March 2021 and has generated around 60.149 billion units during 2021. The government is promoting wind power projects by providing various fiscal and financial incentives such as accelerated depreciation benefit and concessional custom duty exemption on certain components of wind electric generators. It also provides technical support including wind source assessment and identification of potential sites through the National Institute of Wind Energy Chennai. Varghese PV, AR News, Delhi.
Today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It is observed on the June the 15th annually to raise awareness about abuse and neglect of older persons and raise awareness of the cultural, social, economic and demographic processes affecting elder abuse and neglect. It was officially recognized by the United Nations General Assembly in its resolution in December 2011. World Elder Abuse Awareness Day highlights the plight of elders at the hands of their relatives or society.
On to sports. Indian shuttlers Kidambi Shrikant, Lakshya Sen and H.S. Pranoy will start their campaign today at the Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament in Jakarta. In men's singles opening round matches, World Championships bronze medalist Sen will face compatriot Pranoy, while World Championship silver medalist Shrikant, ranked world number 11, will take on Brice Leverdet of France. Tokyo Olympic gold medalist ace javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra set a new national record of 89.3 meters at Paavo Nurmi Games in Finland. Chopra's earlier national record was 88.07 meters, which he had set in Patiala in March last year. He had won the Tokyo Olympics gold with a throw of 87.58 meters on August the 7th, 2021.
The Sports Authority of India, SAI, has issued guidelines to the National Sports Federation of India that women coaches to mandatorily accompany the contingent with female athletes during domestic or international travel. The Sensex and the Nifty today logged marginal gains in the afternoon trade. Both indices declined in sync with losses in the global share markets. The Sensex was trading above the 52,700 mark, while the Nifty was trading around the 15,750 level. The Sensex rose 47 points or 0.09% to trade at 52,740.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. First National Conference of Chief Secretaries begins in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh this evening. Prime Minister to preside over the three-day conference from tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind lays the foundation stone of a new Raj Bhavan building at Donapaula in Goa. Election Commission issues notification for the election of 16th President of India. Union Cabinet approves to conduct 5G spectrum auction to commence on 26th of next month. ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting to be held in New Delhi tomorrow. Jal Shakti Ministry to organize National Workshop on Dam Safety Act 2021 in New Delhi tomorrow. Indian shuttlers Kidambi Shrikant, Lakshya Sen and HS Pranoy to start their campaign today at Indonesia Open Badminton Tournament in Jakarta, and Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra sets new javelin record at Paavo Nurmi Games in Finland. And with that we end the midday